Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So now what I want to do is I want to create a one ACS server. Okay. Step number one, get one ACS server, install Ansible. This is the things which I am doing right now. Okay. So first I will show you this one and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay. So I'm going to get one ACS server on AWS. Guys, for all of you, I will create one machine. Each one of you, I'll create one machine. I'll give you the ppk file and username and all stuff like that, but you have to also watch me doing it, so you'll get comfortable with it. Okay, so I log into AWS. Okay, EC2. Okay, so for what we have decided is, like, for the all the demo and the live infrastructure, we will use CentOS 7. Okay, so launch an instance. And here CentOS 7, I will search Amazon Workplace or community MIs, whatever you like. Here, Amazon Work Marketplace, I'll go and click on the CentOS 7. So see here, you have here also CentOS 7, CentOS 7 64-bit. So I'll go with this one only. Click on it. Okay. Now continue. In terms of CPU and RAM, I think one CPU and 2 GB RAM for ACS is more than sufficient for the demo. So I'll do the same thing. One CPU, 2 GB RAM. Okay, only one machine right now I required for ACS. 30 GB hard disk, I'll go for it. Okay, I will tag this. I will say ACS and I will add my name also, Rajesh. Existing group. And in terms of firewall, I'm not blocking any firewall. Everything is open. Review, launch. Keys, I have it. I'll share with you while doing the lab. Rajesh-Mumbai. I will share PEM file and PPK file. PEM is used for the SSH. PPK you can use with the PuTTY from Windows. Now this is the ACS server. I got an IP address. Here it is. This is my IP address of ACS. Each one of you will also get one IP address of ACS and ARS accordingly, one by one during the lab time. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to install Ansible. Now where is the instructions for this? So I'll share with you one of the URL. Again, this is the place where you can find all of my tutorials written. So here you see Ansible. I will search in the search box. And here I'll just go through that and see that which will help me to install Ansible. So here it's a shell scripting to install Ansible AWS, which is not needed right now. And I'll just go to the next also and check this here. And here the too many articles you will find it, tutorials you will find it. So I'm not able to find it quickly. Here it is. So here, how to install Ansible in CentOS RHEL. This URL I'll share with you directly. Here it is. Now same URL I'm following in front of you, and I go to this one, and these are the instructions. So you can follow. You can use this one also for the pip, this one as a yum, whichever way you're comfortable. Typically I do through yum only, that's easier in CentOS. Pip, you need to have a Python get pip and all stuff installed. So anyways, Python nowadays, Linux, all the Linux flavor come with the Python 2.x, so that's not a problem. Now I'll follow this instruction in front of you. Okay, so here I open up this URL and I'll go to the putty. I believe all of you have a putty. If not, you can download it. It's just a few KB, not even 1 MB of the data. Now guys, look at these steps very carefully. I gave this IP address. Here we have SSH plus button, click auth, and here I will locate the PPK file. PPK file for the putty, PM file for the SSH. So I will share with you the PPK file which you can download it. Now this is something which you have used it. Now let's say if you're not comfortable with the putty, I'll share one print screen during the, so it will help you to do that. Okay, so this is the putty, and here it is, how to log in Linux server of AWS from Windows using putty. So I click on it here and see here.
Can you share that link into the chat window?
I'll share all this reference through that what do you say, lab time, and through GitHub. Just give me some time, let me complete the demo first, and then I'll share everything. Okay, so here is the putty tutorial. Now step 1, step 2, and step 3, you don't have to do that because I have done it for you. Just you have to get the putty from here and then open up, see here, and then click here, the one which same thing I did, and click OK. That's all. So you have to follow step 2, no sorry, step 4, 5, and 6. So I'll write it here also for your reference. Step 4, step 5, step 6. Okay, this is the putty information. This is the installation instruction. Okay, so guys, I located, click open, and here it is. Yes. Now what is the username? So my username is CentOS. Okay, so here I give CentOS, logged in. Now here I logged in. Now you can do as a normal user also or a root user also, that's not a problem. But I will improve this view. So guys, I hope you all are able to see my screen. Is that okay? This view is okay for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so now you see here, I am installing Ansible. I'm doing nothing but doing all this stuff. Install wget. Okay, again, if you are a CentOS, if you want to become a root, also you can become a root. That's not a problem. There's no problem in it. Now I see that while installing this 3.4 kbps download and 18 minutes ATA. So I'm not satisfied with this. So Control C, rerun this command. Now done. See here. If I would have waited, then it might have taken long time. So I have used a different mirror. Finally, I will install this one. Now I can become a root also, sudo -s. This is the one. Okay, so it's up to you, whichever you want to do. Yes, you all can become a root, sudo -s. That will be easier for you. So everyone to install it, else you get a permission issues. Guys, this is update, which is yum update. I'm skipping it. Why I'm skipping it? Because this VM which I have taken it up, that has a most of the update, and if I run this command, I will lose around 5 to 7 minutes, and which will start updating each and every packages of operating system, which I don't like it. I don't want to waste a time. So here what I will do, I will skip this command. Okay, you also will skip this program. That's not a problem. It will not impact any of this stuff in the Ansible. This command will install the Ansible. Almost done. Okay, so Ansible installed, guys. Okay, so Ansible installed. Can I type Ansible? See here. Can I type Ansible -v? Can I type Ansible -version? See. So Ansible installed. Now let's look at this, guys. Here, what version installed? Look at this here. Ansible 2.9. Okay. So I think we are using the latest version, which is 2.9. Here it is, 2.9.x. Now guys, I told you Ansible components has a configuration file. So now let's prove these points also. I said whenever you install Ansible, you will get all these 4 things, right? So first look at the executable. Where is that? So locate the executable. So simple way to locate the executable is if I see executable location. So bin directory has all the executable, out of which Ansible is the main command line. But I told you when you install Ansible, you'll get a many executable actually. So can I go to the bin directory? CD bin, and here if I check this, oh, too many utilities. Now all the utilities of the system is there in this machine, this directory. So how do I filter it out? I do Ansible star. See here, so many utilities are there. Ansible, config, connection, console, doc, galaxy, inventory, playbook, pull, test, vault. So many utilities are there. Okay, so yes, Ansible, the moment you install, you will get many utility. Now also I said you get hundreds of modules. So how do we get hundreds of modules? So let's check it out. See here, where is the modules, guys? Ansible Python module location. This is the location. You will get all the modules. Let's go and check it out. See here, these are the directory: inventory, modules, utils, passing. Inside that you will find hundreds and hundreds of directories, files also. All these are Python files. Okay, mind it. Okay, so if you go inside this modules directory, here also you'll find hell lot of it. These are the same category which I have shown you in the documentation. Which documentation? This documentation. See here, inside that, let's say if you go to the files, see here, these all are Python program. Look at this. Now if you want to check the Windows, look at this, go to the Windows. These are the modules. You see the PowerShell program. Some of these are Python program also, but most of these are PowerShell program. PS1. Look at this. PS1. So guys, this is the modules I said you will get when you install this. Now where is the plugins? So similarly, you will get the plugins location when you do Ansible version. See here, these are the plugins directory. Here you can find the plugins here also, and this is the custom plugin. The one you see, the U means user plugins. Here you'll get it, and this is the system plugins. You get it. Okay, user Ansible plugins. Okay, this is the user plugin. You get it. Now, where is the configuration file? Fourth element. Guys, look at this. etc Ansible CFG. So guys, if I install Ansible, you get all this thing. That's all. So guys, any questions so far? Any doubts? Any confusion? Any confusion, guys? Hello?
No, Rajesh.
We are
Hello?
fine, Raj.
Okay, great. So guys, after installing the Ansible, okay, after installing Ansible, step number two, we need to discuss. What we need to discuss? Step number two. Of course, you will do some server management, right? So we need to discuss. So guys, let me ask you one question. If I want to create one directory, think simple. So in one machine, okay, would you create a shell scripting, or would you run the mkdir and directory name? Which one you prefer? Prefer, I said, prefer.
MKD.
MKD, yeah.
Simple logic, guys, correct? So the logic here is, let's say if you want to do some ad hoc work, which you don't want to automate it. Ad hoc means, understand, you all understand ad hoc means. Ad hoc work, ad hoc task, then
On the
for
fly.
that you, yeah. So ad hoc work when you do in one machine or 10 machines, ad hoc. So definitely you would not like to automate. Why? Because you say automation comes into the picture when there are some task which is repetitive in nature, so you can save time and stuff like that. But if some ad hoc works, if you want to automate, it's just a waste of time and increase the budget of the project, because once in a while you do that, correct? So same logic we apply in the Ansible also. So now let's understand that. I want to open up one thing and I want to show you. Before playbook, I want to run something else. Okay. So guys, the question is, when you do the ad hoc work, then why to write a playbook? So this is the flow which I want you to understand, each one of you. Okay, let's understand this. If you want to do one task in one machine, one task, then we don't need to write a playbook for it. So for that, we will use ad hoc command. See here, power of ad hoc command in Ansible. If you want to do one task in one remote machine also, then also we don't need to write a playbook. We will use ad hoc command. Now the question is, what is a task? Let me remind it to you one more time if you have forgotten. Okay, if you want to do one task in a multiple remote machines but using inventory, remember using inventory, why? Because inventory has a mechanism of group, okay, or list of IP addresses over the command line on in file and script. So in inventory, then also you don't need a playbook. If you want to do one task in a multiple remote machine using the group in the inventory, then also you don't need a playbook. So what do you need? You need an ad hoc command. So understand that one machine, local host, one machine, remote host, multiple machine, remote host, multiple remote machine, but one task, then you can use ad hoc command. Why to write a YAML file for it? Why to complicate the process? Guys, are we clear on this front? Are we set with the expectations?
Yeah, yes, Rajesh.
So you're
So
saying we
yeah,
can use ad hoc command in Ansible, right? That's what you're
Right,
meaning.
right.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
so
If you want
we
to do
don't
one
need
task,
we don't need a YAML for single task, right?
correct. Yes, yes. We don't need it. It's just a waste of time. Okay. But the moment when you want to repeat the task and multiple task, repeat and multiple task and multiple times, then you need a playbook. Okay. So you do the multiple task. See, multiple task means, see here, you only decide. Do we have one task in this YAML? No, multiple tasks are there. Multiple tasks. So in that case, writing a YAML file is good strategy. So if you have a multiple task, run in the one machine, one remote machine, multiple remote machine, then you should write a playbook. So guys, the idea behind it, initially I will teach you ad hoc command, which is very powerful. But once you get bored with the ad hoc command, then I'll teach you playbook. And then end of it, if you have a multiple playbook, then you will have a role. What is the playbook? What is the role? I'm not complicating right now, but in a simple way, I would say multiple playbooks together is become one role, but it's a wrong definition, by the way. It's not wrong, I would say it's a incomplete definition. So I'm not complicating the understanding right now. I will talk about the roles little later, end of this playbook. So we'll stick to the session till here. Okay, ad hoc commands and playbook. Are we all clear on this flow?
Yes, Rajesh.
Yes.
Okay, so guys, now first thing, local host means same machine, ACS. So what do we want? So we want this stuff. I'm putting in the chat window also for our understanding purpose. Okay. Okay, so this is the things we'll do that. Guys, one important thing is, what do you want? That is the most important question. What do you want in ARS? Before you start writing Ansible, don't jump to the Ansible immediately and start trying to learn something on Ansible. Why I'm saying this? Don't try to learn the complete Ansible. Why I'm saying this? I don't know whether you looked at it, the number or not carefully. More than 4,000, 3,000 modules are there. So do you think you want to learn complete Ansible? This is not a good strategy actually to learn the complete Ansible, because 3,000, let's say 10 modules you will learn each day, then you will end up learning completing this one in a 1.5 years, I guess so. So this is not a good strategy. Don't try to learn everything in Ansible or any tools for the sake of discussion. What do you want in ARS? Ask yourself, what do you want? Okay, project, aka assignment, aka requirement, aka requirement. Get this requirement first and then convert into the pseudocode. So my requirement is set up a web server. Set up a web server in simple requirement in CentOS machine. Simple. This is my requirement. Now, how many CentOS machines? It could be one. It could be 1,000 machines. What do you want to set up? Web server. This is your project, aka assignment, aka requirement. Guys, convert into the pseudocode. What is pseudocode? Pseudocode is a way to convert the big project into the small project, because if you jump on the whole project, you will never be able to complete. Convert into small project. Step 1, write the steps. Okay. Step 2, step 3, step 4. This is the kind of step you'll write. So step 1, what I'll do, install HTTP server. You know that in Apache, in CentOS, HTTPD is a package name. Install HTTP server. Second thing, copy index.html. Now index.html is your package. Okay, you want to install it. This package can be 1 file or 1,000 files in a tarball, war file, or whatever it is. I don't care. Tarball most of the time, zip file most of the time, like this. Start a HTTP server. This is the logic. One thing, create one file in OPT. This is the few logics, few steps which you have, which you wanted to do that. So you see here, I'm not talking about the Ansible anymore. I'm talking about what do you want? I want to set up a server, convert it to pseudocode. So any project you get in the Ansible, please do that, because that way it will help you. Now guys, the question is how to install HTTPD server in CentOS, but using what? See here, module. Read the definition of module one more time, please. Unit of work in ARS. Module is written code, Python, this, that, which accept parameter, do one thing. This is sent by ACS to ARS, execute in ARS. Each module has their parameter and state. Thousands of modules are there. Okay, so if you want to install anything, if you want to do anything, anything means anything, literally, you want to do anything, install what? HTTPD. So till you get comfortable, you can use this formula, this tactics. Once you become comfortable, then I don't think so I have to teach you something. Okay, just give me a few seconds. Yeah, so what do you want to do? So guys, for everything, remember, there are thousands of modules are there, and for everything there are.
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 399 plan and grow your skills immensely.
There are modules for that, for everything. So typically what I would request you all to do it like this: Ansible module for, okay, install package. What I want, see here, I want to install HTTP server. It's a package, right? It can be any packages. So install package, enter. So this is the common string you will follow, and then after that, requirement. So I'll put it up, probably it will help you. Only you have to change the requirement, this one. Ansible module for, you can use in the Google. It will help you to start with. So I got to know, okay, here package, which is a generic package, I can use it. Okay, and packaging modules, see here, all packaging module, you'll get it here. Yum, CentOS will work. So like this, you'll get a lots of hints actually, if you do it like this. See here, language based packages, BOR, Compose. See, nowadays tools can be installed in many ways actually. You can install HTTPD through pip also. Many ways are there. So these are the language based packages. Typically we use operating based packages. Okay, see, so many different operating system, so many operating system. Now you decide which is your operating system. I don't know, for me it's a CentOS, and I know that CentOS has a package manager Yum. You see here, it's here. But if you have Ubuntu, then you have APT here. If you have a Android, then APK. Okay, then if you have a Mac or DMG, you have a DMG somewhere. See, Homebrew. So like this, you have a different OS operating system. Now if you say, okay, no, I want a generic one. Generic one means the one which will work for the all the operating system. This generic one, ultimately they will call these only. So guys, this is the way. Okay, I found out. Okay, fine. Yum is the module for the this task. So same formula I will use for remaining also. So guys, what I'm doing right now, for copy files, and here I got to learn there is a copy module. So here I will write copy module. What is a start as web services? So Ansible module for start a service. And here I got to know service module. This is a gradual process of learning, guys. One day you won't get it because thousands of modules are there. You have to practice it. Create one file in OPT. So mol for creating a file. And here, see, I click on wrong thing. Creating a file, and see how many modules are there. See, the results has not come here, but it will take you this one. This is the right module, manage files, built-in file. So file modules. So guys, did you understand that how to first get the requirement done, convert into the pseudocode, and then for each pseudocode, for each step, you will find a module. So far you have understood the approach to automate your entire projects. Did you understand the approach?
Yes, Rajesh.
Okay, good. So guys, if you have understood this
Yeah.
approach, then I don't think so you will get stuck anywhere. Now what I want, so we decided we'll do in the local host first of all. Which one? Ad hoc command. Guys, the problem here is I don't know how to use Ansible ad hoc command. So general practices says if you don't know, then ask a tool itself. Can I ask? Wonderful. Oh, so many
Yes.
options. So many options I got it. So guys, I want to reduce this size. Apply. I hope now it's clear. So if I look for the help file, okay, Ansible, if when you want to run Ansible ad hoc command, I know Ansible is a command. That is a thing. But remaining command, I don't know. So guys, if you look at this -h file, please understand this. Positional arguments. Then you have to use the host pattern. Positional argument means host pattern. Guys, host pattern, if you don't know, then let me ask you to read this very carefully. This is the host pattern. Host pattern has a list of IP address, which can be a command line or file, in file, or script of ARS. So right now I'm not interested in the remote machine, but one machine, which is one localhost. So I will write Ansible localhost. That is good. I got it. First thing, I nailed it down. I learned this one. But after this, I will have to provide in this machine what module you want to run. Think, what module? Think, what parameter? What action? Action is also parameter, by the way. What module? Okay, so I decided Ansible is an ad hoc command. Localhost is the place where I'm running, but what module you want to run? So guys, can you help me here? How to pass the optional arguments to run this? These are optional argument. How to select the which module I want to run? Any idea? Guys, any help?
-m.
-m.
Yeah, so guys, you only help me. I did not taught you anything. Very simple. I want to run Ansible in a command line in the local host, but what one? -m. Now, which module I want to run? Yum. Guys, now what parameter, but how to pass the parameter, I don't know. So guys, can you tell me how to pass the arguments or parameter of module? How to pass -a? Wonderful. So guys, here -a module arguments, args, module arguments, you can pass it. So I learned from you only -a to pass the argument. Now all the parameter and actions will be in the code like this. Okay, so now I learned run Ansible command in the local host. Module is yum, but parameter is important. So what I will do is I will go to yum module yum, and read their documentation. Guys, let me tell you, you can read the command line documentation also, but I'm not showing you that because that is not friendly. Google is available, let's use that one only. Okay, same documents you can find on the command line also. The command is ansible-doc, but right now I'm not complicating. So guys, I got to know yum, these are the parameter. Okay, and I will see which is required, and if I see that, okay, by the way, this is not the right documentation. See here, Whenever you read, please read this, because by looking at the table I got to know this is a very old one. Okay, so I will ask you to see, this is the Google issues, not your issues. What I will request you, whenever you get a such kind of results, this number you change to latest, just a trick, or 2.9 also you can change it, but right now latest is the best one. And latest YUM module didn't come actually, so 2.9, let me check. Huh, 2.9 also not coming. Okay, so I have to go another way. This is the one. See here, 2.9 is the URL, right? There's a URL problem. This is the, if you sign latest, should be there. Okay, maybe they have reworked on this stuff, so I'll check it out later. Earlier used to come. Anyways, so here package module. So I'll go to the PP packaging module, YUM module. I'll go to the YUM module. Oh, YUM, which is the last one. Here it is. Okay, this is YUM repository. No, I need a YUM module. There's a difference. You can read about it one by one. Guys, this is the module which I was talking about. Now this is a write table, it's updated one. So see here, so many parameters are there. First, when I look at this table, I will look for the one entry which state required, and I see that there's nothing required here. I will search also because my eyes is maybe getting confused, not reading or whatever it is. Required, there's nothing required here in the option. That is different comment section, there's no required. So that means actually for YUM module, there's nothing required. So what do we do? Now it's completely depends on you, which one you will select. So guys, I use the logic, YUM will install, but what? Some package. So the question is how to pass the package name. Here I got to know name. It's not required, but you have to select which package name. HTTPD. This HTTPD package name in Ubuntu, it's Apache 2, by the way. So mind it. The package manager change, package name also may change. So you have to. That is your experience with the product. Okay. So not everything will be done by Ansible. You have to also understand many things before doing it. Okay. So here install the name. Now if I don't pass the state, what will happen? See here, nothing will happen. Nothing. That means if I run this command, nothing will happen. But I want something to be happen. What do you want? You want installed, latest, present, removed, absent. All these descriptions you have it. You can read it. But for time being, I want space. State is equal to installed. Now, do you want to remove it or removed? Whatever. So this will install, this will remove. So guys, this I made it based on the discussion with you, only for this. So can I do that first before running this command, before talking something else? So guys, I'm doing everything in the local host ACS only, because this command will work in ACS, then I can run in the ARS also. I'm installing it. Done. Which HTTPD? Wonderful. Can I remove it? Guys, see here. Changed, true. Can I remove it one more time? Change true. Change false. Why false? Because it was already removed. You did not do anything. Can I install it one more time? Look at this, guys. It's important. Installed, changed, true. Can I install one more time? See how much changed, false. It is already installed. So what message you get it? Ansible, before doing the action, they check, is it already done? Then don't waste time, move on. So change false, it was already installed. Change true, something has done. So this functionality is called idempotent, where whatever you desire, if it is matching with actual, no change. Whatever you desire, if it is not matching with the actual, then change. This functionality is built in Ansible or any configuration management tools like this. In fact, Terraform also, not here. So guys, did you understand this idempotent functionality?
Before doing any activity, it will check the server, right? Whether
Yeah,
it has
it will
been
check those.
existing available or not, right?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
So
we have another parameters also, like how do they work? Like installed and removed. Likewise, we have another parameters also, right?
So many parameters. You check this here: absent, installed, latest, present, removed. Each and every description you have been given, you can read it during the lab time with the peace of mind.
Okay.
so one task can have one module. Similarly, like we will have only one state.
Yeah,
Can we combine?
one state because one parameter, no, only one choices. See, it's a choices. Choices means you understand either this or this or this or this or this. Choices
Okay.
means you cannot have multiple choices here.
So if I have to start a service and enable it, I have to write two tasks.
Correct. Correct. That's the reason I said, no, whenever you get any assignment to do the in ARSS, don't jump to the writing the code. First, you understand the requirement, convert into the pseudo code step by step, and then for each step you'll find the module. For each module you'll find the parameter which you only can decide based upon your experience with your project. Make sense?
Yes.
So guys, now I will follow from here blindly. Okay, so what I will do is, my next one is copy module. Now I'm not explaining you too much, but you have to understand this. Okay, copy.html. Now how to find, I have taught you, so please help me out over there. Oh, this URL is not working actually. I don't know why this all change. So all the URL has been rewritten. For you it will not be a problem, but I am finding difficulties. Anyways, no problem. I'll go to the copy module using the files category. So this is the files category. Here I'll find the copy module. Okay, now again I will follow the same pattern, guys. I will see, do we have a required? Oh yes, I have a required. See, path is required. So what I will do, -a path. Which path? From where you want to copy? Current location, index.html. Now, do we have anything else? No. But guys, logic says you want to copy the file from the current location, but it has to be copied somewhere, right? Destination. So do we have a destination somewhere? So dest. Okay, this is required also. Path. See here, dest. You can write dest. Okay. And this is the destination. My destination is, I know, var www html. This is the web server path. But which is the source location? So source location would be src. Here it is. So source src is equal to index.html. So guys, see, simple parameter, this one, source, destination. Do we have a state here? So state is not required here. That's the reason you don't have a state, because it's a very simple state. Here idempotent will not work. Wherever the state is not there, idempotent will not work. So let me check the state. Oh, state is there. State is says success all the time. That means state of the target after execution. It requires string success. Okay, so let's run this. Clear the screen. Did we install it? I forgot actually. Let me reinstall it one more time. Copy, remember copy, okay? Guys, I got some error. What do we do in this case? Are you able to find it out?
Source and target, source and destination.
Source file is not there. Source
See,
file is
I see that here. Could not find or access. Okay. So guys,
touch the file.
yeah. So guys, I want you to read this. Guys, I want you to read this. Searched in, please focus guys, is important. See, whenever you use some file in Ansible,
It
they
looks under the file section.
see here first one, second one, third one, and this is the fourth one, current directory. See that. Look at this, where they look for it. So please read this. Guys,
There is
one
a
more
file
thing.
section. Yeah,
Yeah.
there is.
So you have to read this. Don't ignore, don't rush. Pattern, learn pattern, rest of the Ansible you will learn. Guys, there's a problem here. Maybe I'm not able to understand this log. How do we get more log? Very simple pattern, guys. I want the log -v, smallest log, more log 2v, more log, more log, more log, more log, sorry, spelling mistake, and last one verbose mod. So info, error, debug, verbose, all this log you will get it. Just keep increasing -v. So I hope it is clear for everyone. I am putting up these commands in the notes also, so you will run it. So yes, this is the one of the steps you learned through troubleshooting. Troubleshooting step number one, use Olbich, verbose mode, debug mode, error mode, and all. Okay, so guys, with that error I got to know the file was not there. So what do we do in this case? Let me create a file. You can create a one dummy file. I don't care what file you created. This can be a package, by the way. I am writing one file, and here in this file I'm writing VI editor. One heading I will do, welcome to DevOpsSchool.com H1. Saved it. Now have this file. Can I run this file one more time? First, before that, I will check this file is there or not. So guys, ls, not there. See guys, changed true. Can I rerun one more time? Changed false. That means that file is already present. Idempotent. Okay guys. So guys, the size of the file was only few KB, but if you have a 500 MB, 1 GB, 2 GB, see that how much time you will save actually because of this reason. How much time you will save. Very powerful feature which we have idempotent. Anyways, that file, can I check that whether it got copied really or not? Got it. So guys, this is also done. Now what I will do, last thing which I will do, service. Module name, service. Same method I will use it, guys. Thousands of modules are there. You need to learn the pattern. If you can't learn the pattern, then you'll get lost for sure. So I would request you follow this pattern. You will get nailed it out any requirement in your project also. Okay. So else you will get lost. Where to start, where to finish, all this stuff. So now can I go for service based module? So system modules I'll go. System modules will have a service module. I know that I'm hitting, but you will search for that. Okay. So where is the service module? See here. Service modules are there. Now again, same way, I will look at the table, look at the required field. I got to know name is required. So here name, I will delete everything. Name, which service you want to start? Name. What is the service name? Package name, HTTPD, service name. And then what do you want? State. See, if you do not specify, it will do nothing. Reloaded, restarted, started, stopped. It do nothing. So you have to specify state is equal to what you want. Started or restarted. Started is okay. So guys, can I run this? Before that, I'll validate this. Which, ps-ef grep httpd. See, not running. I run it. I rerun it. False. Grep it. Running. Guys, I got to know service is running. Can I validate? See, my server is installed by the time now. I'll create one file in OPT also. And for that, localhost file. What file? ramu.txt. State touch. Now I'm not showing you that file, that website, but now you can understand that how to look at it and where to create OPT. Run it. True. Rerun it. True. How come is true both the time?
Because we used touch.
See guys, the behavior of touch is to change the
Timestamp.
timestamp all the time. This is not to way to create a file. We use this like a way to cheat actually. Touch state means changing the existing file stamp. If the file is not exist, they will create a dummy file. That is the thing. So there are so many modules, block-in file and all, block-in module and all. You can create a file, but for time being, I'm just explaining you the behavior. It's not always you run 2 times and you'll be true and false. Not like that. You have to also understand the behavior of state also. Okay, so that's the understood thing. Okay, so now I got to know every requirement is done. Can we validate now? So guys, welcome to devopsschool.com. Now guys, the same command which I have used just now, same command here. These 4 commands will set up your web server, but in which machine? Localhost. Let me tell you guys, this same machine, now this same command, same ad hoc commands will do the magic in the one remote machine, multiple remote machine using inventory, multiple remote machine using group in the inventory, which is the next demo. But the question is, did you understand that so far?
To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely.
Rajesh, that copy command, so if you want to overwrite means it is not possible. You have to delete and execute the copy command again, right?
You don't need to overwrite it, because I told you, remember, your desire is important. Which file you want it? See, Ansible don't care this file at all. Ansible care only this file. You said, I want this file to be placed here. So if this file and this file is not matching at any cost, they will place this file. So it's called true, change true. If this file and this file both are same, timestamp change same, and then all this size are same and all stuff like that, then they will say change true. So it's not replacement. It's just like, think in this way. This is called idempotent. Whatever you desire, this is your desire, and actual, whether it's matching or not, Ansible will do the same thing, matching the desire with actual at any cost. If manually someone, see, think in this way. If manually out of 100 servers, 2 servers someone has gone and changed the manually, Ansible will do the magic. In the only those 2 server, they will check and they will found out this is not there. They will replace it. Got it?
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, Rajesh. Please.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Rajesh.
So guys, now you have learned actually. So using this method, you can run, you can write anything, which is this one. So let me put it done. This is done. First one is done. Now I'll teach you second method. Okay. Any questions before that, before moving to the second method? Guys,
We can move on. Rajesh.
yeah. So guys, understand this way. I'm talking only the Linux to Linux. This is the AW, this is the ACS. And this is the ARS. By the way, I forgot, between ACS and ARS, both are Linux. Which protocol is being used?
SSH.
SSH. Guys, SSH. So the topic is how to authenticate and authorize. Both are different word actually. Okay, understand that. ARS from ACS. That's a question. See guys, from this machine, when you connect it to this machine, you need SSH. I'm damn sure about it. You have worked with the server. That's the reason. You have worked with Linux server. You have worked with the Windows server. That is the reason you are attending this session. So I'm damn sure about it. So tell me guys, authentication means, let me write what I understood. Authentication means how to log in to ARS, and authorization means authorization means what you are
Privileges.
allowed to do. Correct, na? In ARS.
Yeah, what are, yeah, yeah,
So guys, you
privileges
tell
to
me, you've been working in the Linux servers since many years, I believe. I'm sure about it. How do you authenticate from the one Linux to another Linux? I said authentication. You teach me. Guys, how can you authenticate from one Linux to another Linux?
We can use multiple methods here. We can even use passwordless authentication, or we can have password based authentication or AD authentications.
Great. So you have answered my question.
or
Thank you very much.
SSD.
You said username and password, which is a password base. But also you said username and key. Correct, na? Passwordless authentication. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yes, Rajesh.
Guys,
Yes, and
let me
SSL,
remind you. Let me
SSL
remind
certificate
you.
also.
Yeah. Let me remind you. In AWS, we all will be using key. But you know that you can also enable SSHD with a password also. So that is authentication. That is how I can log in with that particular user and password. But I have another question. How do you get authorization in Linux? How you get authorization? Authorization means what you are allowed to do. So guys, I'm damn sure about it. You know that, but you need to teach me. How do we authorized?
We
Typically,
will use permissions, group level permissions, sudoers. We control
yeah.
what they can do.
Most of the time, guys, we use sudo. Most of the time. Nowadays, a sudo is become a standard ways to get a permission. Correct, no? So sudo, we tried, but guys, sudo also has a multiple behavior. We need to know. So maybe I will not confuse you here with my questions rather than answer directly, because I know this part. So guys, sudo has a multiple behavior. Sudo without a password. Have you tried? Sudo with a password.
Yes.
Sudo with another user and password. See that here. Okay, so these are the behaviors you have. For example, let me tell you one of the behavior. I'm sure you must be knowing, actually, just for the sake of discussion. Sudo without a password, that means, see, I'm a root right now, right? So exit. If I do sudo -s, it's without a password, but sometime when you do the sudo, it will prompt you the password. But sometime what happens, because of security reason, we don't give every user sudo or access. What we do, let's say we have 30 users in the system, we give only one utility account user as a thing. So what do we do when you do the sudo? What do we do? Sudo, then hyphen, the moment you do that, instead of becoming a root, it will get you the username and password. That means sudo with a different user and different password, because that's a part of the sudo. So these are the three behaviors typically you see in the sudo. That is how in Linux you get authorization. Guys, are you comfortable with this?
Yes.
So guys, if you have answered me with the Linux, let me answer in the Windows also. So guys, Windows also, most of the time, remember, again recall the discussions, never forget the concept. In Windows, communication happen WinRM, HTTP based communication. So when it happens, then WinRM supports only username and password. And in Windows, we don't have a concept of sudo and all. Here, administrator has all the access. Okay. administrator of the username. Okay, so that is the things which we have. Okay, overall guys, you have answered me how to authenticate ARS, how to authorize ARS, mainly Linux. Windows is pretty simple, by the way. Okay, but the question is, guys, these 4 commands which I'm going to run now in ARS, I have to have authentication and authorization option in the command line only. Here localhost will be replaced. Localhost will be replaced with the list of server. Why? How come? Please read that. You can pass the list of IP address over the command line also. So yes, you can pass the IP address here, list of IP address over the command line also. But how do you authenticate? That I don't know. So guys, can we learn ourselves together? So one command I know, I remember -h. Connection options, oh sorry, this options we have learned. Optional arguments, we have finished this. Let's move on. Guys, connection option, there is a one, I don't know what is that. And privilege escalation option, there's a second one. So let's work out with the connection option first. Connection option means authentication. Privilege escalation option means authorization. So guys, can you tell me, only look at the selected one. Can you tell me how can I pass username and password? Tell me, how can I pass username and password over the command line? Tell me.
-u remote user.
Wonderful. So you have taught me, you only taught me, and I will accept this. Username and password. Guys, password.
Private key.
Password, sir. Password.
Private key.
No, password I am saying. Wait a
-k.
second. Remember, you only taught me password or key.
-k.
So I need a password, no?
-k.
-k, wonderful. So guys, you only have decided, and please do not ask me then. Username, I know that you only said -u, and key file, key, how do I select?
Private key.
Private key or key file, anything will work. Okay guys, so you taught me authentication, that's wonderful. Can you teach me authorization also? Sudo without a password, sudo with a password, sudo with another user and password. For that, only this, look at this, where is that? Here, only this one. So tell me guys, sudo without a password. First you teach me this one, sudo without a password.
-k, capital K.
No. Sudo without password, I said.
become
Yes, you
user.
taught me. Yeah, -b. Guys, sudo with a password.
Become user.
-k.
Hyphen capital K, guys.
-k
Mind it. First you become a sudo and then you capital K. Don't forget this, capital K. Then sudo with a password. Guys, sudo with another user and password. Sudo, I know that you told me -b, but with another user, how can I provide? How can we provide another user?
-u,
Hyphen
become user.
become user, and password capital K. So guys, Now I don't know in your organizations what combinations you have for authentication and authorization, but for time being you only have taught me if you have for authentication password based, you will use these two combination. If you have a keys and username, you will use this combination. For the accessing the getting the authorization, if you have only this one, then you will use this or this or this. So I hope we all are clear on this. Are we clear on this?
Yes.
Would you get any time confusion, authentication, authorization with a Linux? Which option to use when? Are we all clear on this?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So guys, this is the one of the steps further to do this step. Do one task in one remote machine. So I was showing you last time only local host, but this time I will do in the remote machine. Okay, so can we do the remote machine, guys? So I need to have one IP address of remote machine. Can we have IP address of remote machine? Let's do that. This is the IP address which I'm using as a remote machine. Where is that? Okay, you must be thinking, am I mad? Same machine I'm using for ACS and same machine I'm talking about ARS. Actually, yes. See here, what is happening? What I'm doing first thing, simple logic. This is the ACS. Okay, think about it. This is ACS. If I use local host, I will not travel to the network. If I use IP address, I will travel to the network and then come to that. So I'll go to the bridge and then from there I'll come. So I'm not creating one machine because I have a few minutes right now before we go for lunch. But I will show you the another machines also. Command will remain same. Conceptually, it will be same. So guys, this is the command which I have it. What I want, remote machine. But can I run this? Let's see the error, because
It won't
error.
install, right? Since it's already installed.
No, let's check it out, because I don't know. We'll learn together. All of us will learn together. Why to rush? See here. Is Sage warning provided? Read the message, guys. Many people, including myself also, at once upon a time, we were not reading the message carefully. Error message, warning message, and because of that, our understanding were not getting built up. But I get a habit of this reading the message. Okay, whatever it is. Here says provided host list is empty. Host list is empty. How come? This is not empty. So either I have not provided the host list, or either is not wrong. It's in wrong format. Tell me, is it a list or not? Tell me. This is a list. Host list.
It's an IP address, but there should be a suffix like say something -host or
Something like that. Yeah.
No, you have to mention the server in the UTC Ansible host.
So guys, look at this here. I said here, he said host list. Tell me whether it's a list or not.
It's not a list.
It's not a list. Guys, please read it one more time. I know I'm repeating, but you have to read it. These are the small problem you get frustrated. I said very clearly, inventory is a list of IP address. Can be provided on the command line or file or script. I don't care about these two, but command line right now. So is it a list? No, it's not a list. But tell me one thing, is it a list or not? Now, this is the list. because list definition, I'm sure you might have read this definition of list. Sometime you also call it array, remember? So definition of list is multiple elements. It could be one or multiple separated by comma or space or whatever it is. So this is the list, but element has only one. So guys, this is the list. So mind it, one by one I'm showing you. So this didn't work. I got this error. But also it says only available for local hosts. I used it last time only. Okay. And here it says, can I run this one now and see that error message? Something similar. So this time I'm sure it is a list, but it's not detecting at all. So guys, I don't know what to do. So I know only one command -h. So how can I provide inventory list? I need to learn. Guys, any idea?
-i.
-l.
-i. Okay.
Sorry,
-i. Okay. So now this third combination probably it will work. -i. Let me check it out. -i. You are teaching me. So keep reading the message and teach me. This also didn't work actually. What is the error here? It's, see, this is the usual message, but it says Ansible error, too few arguments. So there is a problem with the arguments actually. So here this option is okay. This is right. Okay, this is right. But too few argument. That means there is an inventory to write. There's some pattern I need to follow. What pattern? So this probably the documentation immediately will not tell you guys. Any idea what is this?
Hosts.
Run in all the hosts.
This, guys, this is the group name. Again, I am giving you this special attention. This is a group name. Go to that inventory discussion. See here. The list of IP address can be on command line, file and script, and it has a group of group vars and all. And here I said, remember, host has a local host or group name or all. All means everything. So here it suggests if you want to use -i, then you have to use whether you want all machine of inventory list or particular machine. Slowly you will get it, but for time being, let's hard code all machine of inventory which had unfortunately have only one machine. So guys, can I run this now? See here. What is this, guys? You have to teach me this one.
So you mean to say that all is the group name or just
All is the built-in group name which is provided by Ansible. We will create our own group also in the inventory file. I'll teach you. But for time being, when you use inventory list of IP address, you must specify all or the custom group. Right now, I do not have custom. I have not created any group, so I use the built-in group. Means all of the inventory of that list. Guys, but there is an error. What is this? Not error, something like that. What is this? Everyone?
This is when you
entry.
first time when you want to log into a machine,
This is the
it has to be
first
entered
key
in.
check.
Yeah,
The
correct,
fingerprint
guys.
is
Yeah, so guys, this is not at all related to Ansible. It's a Linux behavior. When one Linux connect to the another Linux first time, then it will tell you, do you know this server? If you say yes, known host will be created. Let me show you. If I'm showing you because I'm just be little bit safer side. If you don't know, then you should know If you know already, then please bear few seconds. See here, ls watch ls. Okay, see here. If I say yes, see here. If I say yes, see, known host file got created. If I delete this file, yes, and again rerun, again it will ask me. So that file is important for connecting from the one ACS, ARS to ACS, Linux to Linux. So this time it will not create it. But you know one thing, one machine is okay. One machine is okay. But do you think if I have hundreds of machines in my list, it will ask 100 times? I'll get mad, right? Don't you think so? Are you able to visualize the problem here, everyone?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's not going to work out. I need something else. What do we do? In this case, I will instruct Ansible. Ansible, please change your behavior. Don't prompt me this one. Get it done in the background yourself. Don't prompt me again. So, but if I want to change the behavior of Ansible, what should I do? That I am not able to recollect. Anyone has a clue? If I want to change the behavior of Ansible, what should I do?
Config file has to be edited.
To change the
Wonderful,
configuration
yes.
file.
Correct. Guys, this is where this file need to be modified, because you are changing the behavior of Ansible. Can I change this? When I go into this file, oh, so many options are there. I'm lost now again. Again, have a peace of mind. Be patient. One time you have to read it. No matter you read today, tomorrow, or after 1 month. Hundreds of options are there. You have to read it. But yeah, again, don't try to remember everything. Okay, not necessarily. I know that. For that, host key checking is the option which I enable it. Falsify, which is by default enable. If I falsify, then that option will not be prompted. That means known files will be created automatically if I made it false. So one of the option I modified, guys. Hundreds of options are here. Depends on your requirement, depends on your nature. Come back, build your skills slowly, one by one. But you can read it once if you like it. Guys, I changed that host key checking. Again, I repeat, host key checking. Okay, in this file. Now, if I see here, in this host file, known host file is not there. If I run this command, I got an error. That's a different thing, but that option didn't come actually. So did I get this? See, I got this known without prompt. So yes, I told you how can you impact the executable behavior through the configuration file. But guys, you know one thing, there is a problem here. There is a problem. Now, any idea what is the problem here?
Permission denied.
Permission denied. So guys, so far we are going good. So far we are going good. See here, this was having the issues with the command line. This was having issues with the inventory, wrong inventory pattern. Corrected the pattern list. Then here this one, then here. So right command is this one, but now is trying to connect to the machine. It can't connected, but there is no permission here. So how to pass the permission? I think you have already answered.
By giving the username password.
Correct.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the 3D99 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.